Fancy intro, blah, blah, blah. All right, we're back with another product review, another screen that can go on your motorcycle. This one has a couple other features that I really am looking forward to, including the dual cameras, 1080p cameras, front and rear, to act as dash cams. And for someone who rides in Atlanta, that's a good peace of mind to have on the bike. This also comes with tire pressure monitors, as well as the typical CarPlay Android Auto. So let's go unbox this thing, look what's inside. We'll check out how the installation process goes, and then we'll do some real world tests. Let's open this thing up and see what's inside of the Aoocci C6Pro. So, leading car tech solution. So they do things obviously for cars, but also motorcycles as well. All right, first thing up is the unit itself here on top. There we go. All right, so we have the unit itself. That's a good size. I like that. It's not too big. It seems like it may fit a little more appropriately on the motorcycle. We see on the back of this, there's a connection for the controller. So we'll see what that is. Of course, the power. And then here's the front camera and the rear camera for the dash cam feature. Right. And digging into the guts of this, let's pull this out. Mounting hardware for the cameras. Looks like some things that very similar to GoPro and action camera mounts, with some adhesives and some brackets. Okay, handlebar mounting. This was probably a power adapter. Okay, here is the tire pressure monitors. There's, I don't know if you can see, one says F on it, one says R for front and rear. This is a handlebar controller. So rather than reaching up and touching the screen, you can set this on your handlebar and easily access, I guess, these buttons here. Answer a phone call. Maybe that's the home button. Camera. Another power adapter? Oh no, that's the camera. Duh. What am I doing? All right, this appears to be the power harness. Okay, you can hook this directly to the battery. If there's a way I can tie it into a relay, that way the unit will only power on when the bike is on, that would be best. This, a USB cable for power, that makes sense. That may make the whole thing easier. And this is two longer video cables. This will connect the front and rear cameras to the main unit. And then this is, oh, this is a sun shield to go on top of the unit. Oh, the accessory list. Oh, and it does come with a 64 gigabyte little SD card for recording. That's nice. Well, next up, well, we'll see how we can install this on the bike. I don't know how in depth I'm going to go with that because it could be a big pain in the butt. Hey, there's me. Next step will be checking it out on the bike, seeing what that process looks like, and then we will do the real test. So there's different ways to mount this depending upon the bike you have. It does come with this ball mount that you can put on the handlebars. I have a navigation bar above my normal instrumentation, so I started out with that, putting the ball mount on there and just tightening it on there. One thing to note, with all the camera connections and everything, you will have to do some cable management, but that's just part of it with having the security of mind with dash cams and that type of thing. So when mounting the front camera, looking at the front bodywork of my Versys 1000, the bracket for it fit very nicely in this little spot in the fairing. And it comes with these adhesive mounts that I just stuck on there, but I also put some zip ties on there to hold it. I didn't want to put it in that middle area right there because the sides would block it, so hanging down there would give it a little bit more field of vision. So that worked out real nicely. Installing the camera is pretty simple. It just comes with a screw into this little bracket, much like action camera mounts, as I mentioned. So it's just a matter of tightening it down, making sure it's angled how you want it. And then it's just routing the cables. And again, this is going to be different on every bike, but just find a discreet way that's going to go up and not interfere with your handlebars. Now on the back, I had a spot underneath my taillight. I did clean off that spot so it actually would stick, but that was a good spot for it, where I'm still going to get a good field of vision and it's not going to interfere with my lights, my blinkers, anything like that. The cameras do have a white dot on top so you can help aim it. Now for this, I routed it in under my seat, and then I'll use the extension cable that comes with the package to run through here, underneath, next to the fairings inside, and connect up to the unit up in the front. There's the Bluetooth, so when you want to connect it to your phone. There's the sound, if you want to have it playback sound or beep at you, whatever. Simple control, basic brightness adjustment. Home takes you back to this screen. The settings here is where you can set the time. I mean, there's just a lot of these things are obvious. So tire pressure is one of them, where you can set an alarm to go off, which is basically a pop-up on your screen of if the tire pressure drops to a certain amount or gets too high. And then how you want to measure it, Celsius or Fahrenheit. And then of course it gives you the readings for what they currently are. Touch mode just gives you a description about like how locking the screen, something like that. I'm not worried about that. Format the SD card, which this does come with, which is great. Factory reset, okay. Screensaver, so I guess if you aren't doing anything on this, it just turns itself off. I may play around with that. I've been running it with it full on, so let me do like a 3-minute thing. We'll see how that does on the road, if I like it or not. I mean, I still want my audio to come through my Cardo, but anyway. So let's go back home, and then of course the big thing we want to do is Bluetooth to the phone. So we do that, but it's standard Android Auto where you can have your maps here. So you can do maps. You can push this button down here, and it will give you kind of the grid view of recent directions or any music. And it's pretty straightforward. So we're gonna exit Apple CarPlay, go to the home screen. And if we go to the driving recorder, that's actually my rear camera, which is looking at all my junk behind me. And you can swipe, and now there is my front camera. So, and then you can swipe it again to have dual, swipe again to swap them. If you just want to see what's going on, it does scrunch the video up, the resolution. But sometimes when I just want to, I have the rear one on, so it's like a rear view mirror almost, because the image is actually mirrored. And that is a setting that you can adjust. If you go into the record settings, the loop recording, how long you want it to do, it only has one resolution, so that's kind of a waste. But date, watermark, GPS location, speed, which is only done in kilometers per hour, GPS coordinates, so it'll tag that on your video as well, so that you can track where you were. Back camera mirror, I have that on, so it is acting like a mirror. All right, so let's hit this on the road and see what we can do, huh? But I got this unit up. It's actually on right now. And where I'd kick the screensaver on to turn on after 3 minutes. So I've been out on the bike for more than 3 minutes. The screen turns off. And that's fine because I don't have any directions actively running with the maps. You know, I don't have one of the cameras up. I don't have like the rear camera serving as like a rear view mirror or anything like that. I don't have a need for it. But the good thing is the unit is still on and it is recording as a dash cam for safety, which again is a big important thing for me because I live in the Atlanta metro area. So having that extra peace of mind if something happens that I can have documentation on whatever it is, that's really important to me. So we'll get there in a roundabout way. So if I tap the screen, it comes right back on. So if I need something, or, you know, maybe even if I do have directions in here, the screen may turn off after a while. Thank you for stopping, as you were supposed to. That's a pretty simple way to do it then, so that you don't have it all in your face and distracting if you're not needing it. Maybe you're just listening to the audio directions of when to make a turn and you don't want the visual, the screen can turn off. So that's cool. Now this is probably going to be obvious to many of you, but with the maps and with the music, it Bluetooths to your phone, so your phone is actively working all the time. It's going to drain the battery. But of course you don't need your phone just to run the Dashcam feature. And of course the tire pressure monitor, which is just an extra thing for you. So it's probably been about another 3 minutes. I expect this screen to turn off here any second now. I don't know. I don't have any sense of time. The one thing that I do like about this particular one, the C6 Pro, is the size of it. The last one I reviewed was a nice big screen so you could see everything, but it almost felt too big for a motorcycle. This seems like the right size and with a good position for me that I can see my regular dash, and I can also see this as just the extra stuff. And as you see, the screen just turned off. It's been another 3 minutes. That's okay. I didn't need it. That looks like a scooter. We're going to go follow him. As we sit here at this red light, I'm going to switch it to... I'm going to exit that. And I'm going to go to the driving recorder. And now I've got it on my rear camera that's going to serve as a rear view mirror. We'll see if this thing actually cuts itself off, or after 3 minutes in screensavers, or if it stays on because I'm actively using it as a visual aid. Car, and there goes the car. And again, this is a 1080p screen. It's not 4K. It's, you know, Christopher Nolan isn't going to shoot an IMAX movie on this thing. But it's not meant to be for cinematics or anything like that. The purpose is literally dash cam for either safety, for review, for insurance purposes. You know, hopefully you never have to need it and take it to court, but it's there if you need it. I did save off a couple little videos from the other night when the wife and I went out. She was on the ruckus. So here are those videos to see what the quality is at night. Again, it's nothing too spectacular. It's not intended to be, not for this price anyway. But it does pretty well at night too. So at least it can be enough to give insights as to if something happens, you've got that documentation of it. So that's cool. So it has been 3 minutes and then this screen cut off. All right, so the screensaver is actually going to turn the screen off. It seems like no matter what activity you've got going on. That could be detrimental in some cases when you need to look down and say, oh, I want to look at the rear camera to see who's behind me. Oh, it's gone to screensaver. Just turn the screensaver off. But it's a nice to have if you're not needing the screen. You just want the dash cam to record for a just in case. I think that's what it would certainly be used for. So while we're talking about this unit here, the thing I have to compare it to is the last unit that I reviewed. We'll link it up here. I can go ahead and say that I like this unit better for a couple big reasons that may be obvious to you. One, this comes with a front and rear dash cam. Just a little extra peace of mind in worst case scenario. Secondly, it has a tire pressure monitor. Tire pressure is important for all vehicles, but especially so for motorcycles. You have a tire that goes flat or blows on a car, you're inconvenienced. That happens on a motorcycle, you could be dealing with a bad wreck. So those are two big features that I like already. The thing with the rear camera, I like how I can use that as like a rear view mirror of sorts. Obviously you want to check your side mirrors, but that's also just an extra point of reference. The other big advantage that it has, I think, over the other unit is that the price is a lot better initially. So even though this retails for a little more than $200, in collaboration with Aoocci, I can offer you all a discount code. Use the link in the description and the code provided. I'm really impressed with this unit. This is one that I think I'll certainly keep on here for forever. Okay, maybe not forever, but I certainly plan to use this and keep it, and you know, hopefully I'll never need to use the Dashcam videos, which, by the way, I mentioned does have a loop recording of 1, 3, or 5 minutes. And when you're on here, you can hit this lock button and it will basically lock that file, which I think it just means it saves it instead of overwriting it after it's gone through its loop timing. So if you have any questions about the Aoocci C6Pro, drop it in the comments below. I'll answer them as best as I can. Otherwise, check out their website. You know, there are a lot of different, I don't know what you would call these, just what? CarPlay, Android Auto screens, add-ons. There are a lot out there on the market, and a lot of them are pretty decent. Some are overpriced. Some are priced pretty well. I can say this is a really good one. Maybe in the future I can get more of these units and do more comparisons, but so far this is definitely better than the one I had before. I like its features as is. I think it's a great benefit, a great peace of mind. So many times in motorcycle accidents, the car driver is, oh, the motorcyclist came out of nowhere. And now there are some of you motorcyclists out there that are speeding, lane splitting when it's not illegal, or when it's not legal, and you're doing stupid stuff, and yeah, you come out of nowhere and it's your fault. But when it's not, you've done everything you're supposed to do, and they still hit you and say, oh, he came out of nowhere, you can be like, well, kind of not, because I got the video proof. So we're going to go back home. We'll go back to the Bluetooth to our phone. And now I can, if I want to, play some music and just enjoy that. So this is essentially acting as a controller for the music that still plays the music on my phone that Bluetooths it to my Cardo headset. So I can change the music track now in 4 different ways on this motorcycle. I can hit it here, I can hit it on my phone, I can hit the button on my Cardo unit, or I can give it the voice command of, hey Cardo, next track. Yes, but overall, I really like this. I like the price, I like the features. You know, if you're seeing this video you know, several months or years after I originally posted it, and you're concerned about its longevity or how it's acting over the years, drop me a comment. I try to be on top of the comments, or tag me, send me a message on Instagram, something like that. I do try to respond to all of those if I can. If you send me a bunch of reels all the time, I probably will start to ignore you. Unless they're really funny. Thanks, Andy. So yeah, definitely check out the Aoocci C6Pro. They have several other units on their website. And if their other products are to the same quality as this one, then I think any of them could be good. Like I said, I like this screen size a little better than the last one I reviewed. I thought it was just too big. But that is a personal preference. So if you like a big screen, look for the company that has the big screen. And if you don't, then I don't know, I like this one. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. It helps me out. Consider subscribing. And is there any other products you want me to start looking at? I'll check them out, give them a test run, and let you know how it goes. All right, thanks for watching. See y'all on the next one.